Now Kripaluji Maharaj is elaborating further on sadhan bhakti. So he says the true servant does not want mukti or liberation. Mukti is the professed goal of the jnani and the yogi. Actually, there are the Shad Darshan, the 6 schools of philosophy: Mimamsa, Vedanta, Nyaya, Vaisheshik, Sankhya and Yoga. 5 of these darshans talk about the ultimate goal as mukti. The Nyaya Darshan says, Praman, Prameya, Sanshaya, Prayojana, Drishtanta, Siddhanta, Vayav, Tark, Nirnay, Vad, Jalp, Vitanda, Hetva, Bhas, Chalajati, Nigraha, Sthananam, Tattva, Jnanan, Nrishya, Sadhigama. There are 16 tattvas. Knowledge of these 16 tattvas will lead to liberation. And Vaisheshik Darshan has its own theory. Samanya Vishesh Samay Vaya Bhav Padarthanam Sadharmya Vaidharmyabhyam Tattvajnanam Nirsheyasam. By knowledge of these 6 tattvas, you will attain liberation. The Yoga Shastra says Yogas Chitta Vritti Nirodha. When you are able to control the mind, you will get liberated. The Sankhya Darshan has its own take. It is called Purush Prakriti Vad. It says this Maya is Prakriti and the soul is Purush. The Purush is trying to enjoy Prakriti. Hence Maya has bound the soul. The moment the soul can stop this propensity to enjoy Maya and be established in the self, it will get liberated. So they are giving different theories of how to get liberation. Now come to the Vedanta. The Vedanta also, one commentary, Shankaracharya's commentary, he utilized the Vedanta to prove that the ultimate goal is moksha. However, Vedanta was written by Veda Vyas. So Veda Vyas has written his own commentary on the Vedanta, which is called the Srimad Bhagavat Mahapurana. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he never wrote a commentary on the Brahma Sutra or the Vedanta. He said, why should I? When Veda Vyas himself has written its commentary, Arthoyam Brahma Sutranam Sarvopanishadamapi. Veda Vyas says this Bhagavat is the arth, the meaning of the Brahma Sutra and the Upanishads. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never wrote a commentary. And what does Veda Vyas write in the Bhagavatam? In the first verse, he does the Mangalacharan. Janmadyasya tonvayati taratashthartheshva bhigyaswarat tene brahma hridayadi kavaye muhyanti yat surya tejo vari mridam yatha vinimayo tat tatra sargo mrisha dhamna svena sada nirasta kuhakam satyam param dhimahi. And in the second verse, he writes, what am I going to write in this Bhagavat? So he says, Dharma projhita kaitavotra paramo nirmatsaranam satam vedyam vastavamatramastu shivadam tapatrayon moolanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamunikrite kimva parairishvaraha sadyo ridya varudyate trikritibihi shushrushubihistat kshanat. He says in this Bhagavat, it was the last scripture written by Ved Vyas. I will write Kaitav Rahit Dharma, pure Dharma, Paradharma, the dharma of Mahapurushas, of God realized saints. And what is that dharma? That dharma is bhakti, pure love for God. So he says, kaitav rahit, without any defects. And what are the defects? 4 defects. Dharma, arth, kam, moksha. These are the 4 purusharth, right? What are the 4 purusharth? Dharma, arth, kam, moksha. But if you want prem, you have to reject all of these. You have to reject moksha as well. The desire for liberation, throw it away. Rupa Goswami writes in the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Bhukti mukti sprihayavat pishachi ridhi vartate tavad bhakti sukhasyatra kathamabhyudayo bhavet. He says there are 2 pishachis. What is a pishachi? Witch, chudel. You know, if you are going in the forest and the witch would come and grab you, it could do it. So it's a pishachi. Now Rupa Goswami says, look, if these pishachis stay in your heart, bhukti, mukti, Bhakti Mahadevi will not come and reside. If you want Bhakti Maharani to come into your heart, you will have to take out both bhukti and mukti. Why? Why is Bhakti so allergic to bhukti and mukti? The reason is Bhakti means pure love. Love is that where there is no tinge of self-seeking, of self-interest. It is all about giving, giving, giving. Now the desire for bhukti, the desire for worldly enjoyment is selfish, of course, everybody knows. I want this, I want that, I want that. That it's obvious that it's self-seeking. And what about mukti? Liberation from worldly entanglement, what's wrong with that? This mukti is also a self-seeking. I am getting so many miseries in this world and I am so fed up, and if only, hey Bhagavan Tarde, just liberate me, my Lord, I should not have to come back. So there is also the self-seeking. One person says, oh God, I am so poor, sukha sampatti ghara aave, material hankering. The other person says, oh God, I have got so many miseries, take them all away and liberate me. So his self-seeking is of a higher extent. That is why this mukti does not fit in to the realm of bhakti, divine love. So in the Bhagavat, Ved Vyas says, I am not going to talk here about bhukti and mukti. I am going to talk about the realm of divine love. Later on, Kripaluji Maharaj will say in the same Bhakti Shatak, Brahmaloka paryanta sukha aru mukti hu sukha tyag radhe radhe. Give up the desire of material happiness up to Brahmalok and the desire for the happiness of mukti. Tabe dharahu pag prem patha nahi lagi jai hai daag radhe radhe. Then walk on the path of bhakti, else the clear water of bhakti will get tainted by self-seeking. Now you can say, my God, I give up this happiness, I give up that happiness, so I become devoid of happiness. Hare Swamiji, this is a terrible path. No, that is the secret. You know, Ramakrishna Paramahans said that they have the godowns in India, the granaries, all the harvested grain is put there. But they put a mouse trap with moody outside. The Bengalis know what moody is, puffed rice. Yes, so puffed rice, so the mouse comes. Oh, so tasty moody. It goes into the trap and gets entangled without realizing there's a full granary inside. So similarly, God has got infinite bliss. But if you want it, you have to give up all this. And the bliss you will get in bhakti is what? You give happiness to Him. And He is sitting inside you. He is not a miser. He will give you an infinitely sweet bliss. That is the bliss of bhakti. Sukhani goshpadayante brahmanyapi jagadguru tvat sakshat karanallade vishuddhabdhisthitasya me. The Hari Bhakti Sudhodaya says, Brahmanand, the bliss of liberation into the formless, when compared to Premanand, the bliss of the personal form of God, is like comparing the ocean to the amount of water that is held in the footprint of a calf's hoof. You know, when a calf puts its hoof into the ground, that little bit, some water there, in comparison to the ocean, that is the divine bliss. But if you want that bliss, then give up the desire for self-happiness. Bin mange moti mile, mange mile na bhik. In other words, this path of love is the reverse of the worldly path. The worldly path is all about getting. In the spiritual path, it's all about giving. So what do you have to give up then? The desire for worldly happiness and the desire for mukti. That is why Bharat Maharaj, when he reached Prayag, going to meet Ram, he reached Prayag. And people told him, we have reached Tirtharaj. So he said, Dharamana arathana kamaruchi gati na chahu nirvana janama janama ratirama pada yah vardhananan. He says, Prayagraj, I don't want dharma, arth, kama, moksha. I only want attachment to the feet of my Ram. Tirtharaj Prayag said, you know, so many people come here with material desires. Give me this, give me this, give me this. Now here is somebody who's saying, don't give me this, don't give me this, don't give me this, don't give me this. But that principle, that in the path of bhakti, mukti is rejected. That is why the Braj Rasiks say, Mukti kahe Gopal se Meri mukti bataya. Mukti says, you know, these bhaktas, they keep on insulting me that this is no good. So how will I get liberated? Mukti kahe Gopal se Meri mukti bataya. Braj raj udi mastak pade mukti mukta hai jaya. Actually, the scriptures say, when you are established in bhakti, you automatically get mukt. You don't want it. Bhakti karata soi mukti gosai anaichhita avat bariyai. If you ask God for mukti, you will not get bhakti. But if you strive for bhakti, you will automatically get mukti. Just like there is the story of Savitri and Satyavan. You know, Satyavan had a short life and Savitri was completely dedicated to her husband. When his time became up, Yamaraj came to get him. Savitri was very loyal and dedicated, so she started walking behind her husband. Seeing her pati bhakti, Yamaraj melted. Yamaraj said, Savitri, I am very impressed by your pati bhakti. Now I can't give your pati back, your husband. But apart from him, ask for anything else. I will give. Savitri immediately said, I want 100 children. Yamaraj, without thinking, said, Tathastu. Your wish is given. Now he started taking Satyavan again. Savitri caught her husband's hand. Yamaraj said, why are you catching his hand? What you asked, you've been given. Savitri said, Hare Yamaraj ji, you are a Bhundu Bhatt. I am Pativrata. Without my husband, how will I have 100 children? Now you have said, I will have 100 children. You have to increase his life by at least 100 years. Then annually I'll have a child. So Yamaraj caught his head. Oh my God. I gave one boon in which the other boon came automatically. So similarly, rather than running for mukti, you run for bhakti. Kripaluji Maharaj will say ahead, Haridasi hai mukti sab, sabe jeev Haridas Radhe Radhe. Mahamud jo Swami taji kar dasi ki aas Radhe Radhe. Mukti is a servant of God, and the soul is also a servant. How foolish is the soul who instead of running after God is running after mukti. And if you run after God, Mukti swayam mukulitanjali sevate sman dharmartha kama gataya samaya pratiksha. All this dharmartha kam moksha will fold their hands and say, engage me in your service because you are a bhakt. So Kripaluji Maharaj says, make your goal the highest. Even if you achieve it after 10 lifetimes, but don't compromise on the goal. And the goal is the utmost selfless bhakti. He will talk about it in the next verse. Boliye Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki, Srimad Satguru Sarkar ki.